Hi everyone, this is Brian Dolan with Pepper Hamilton. Welcome to the latest Pepper podcast. The New Jersey Compassionate Use Medical Marijuana Act was passed in 2010, legalizing marijuana use for patients with certain approved debilitating medical conditions. In the 2017 election for New Jersey's next governor, both candidates promised changes to the state's laws surrounding marijuana. With Democrat Phil Murphy set to take office on January 16th, we sat down with Alva Mather and Jessica Bay, members of our Cannabis Industry Group, to discuss what's next in New Jersey and how it might affect neighboring states. Alva, Jess, thanks for joining me. Can you explain what's legal under New Jersey's current cannabis laws? And Alva, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, the use of marijuana for medical purposes has been legal in New Jersey since 2010, but the program had a lot of difficulty getting up and running, and a lot of blame being laid at the outgoing governor, Chris Christie's, feet for dragging his heels and not really helping the program get implemented. As of today, we only have about 10,000 folks who are registered as patients in New Jersey, despite the fact that the program has been in existence for 7 years and only 5 state dispensaries where they can get products. That has caused a lot of criticism about the ability for patients that have qualifying medical conditions to actually get the care that they need, and has caused a lot of questions about whether or not this was more of a political issue for the outgoing governor than matter of patient care.
While the Republican candidate for governor, Kim Guadagno, said she would decriminalize possession of small amounts of marijuana, Democrat Phil Murphy took it a step further, saying he would legalize marijuana. Can you explain what this means for New Jersey, and how likely is this change?
In contrast to what I was just describing with Chris Christie, Phil Murphy made this a very significant piece of his campaign, and he came at it from a number of different angles. We have seen in the western states that have legalized marijuana for recreational use that one of the main advantages from the government perspective has been the addition of a lot of revenue in the form of tax dollars, in addition to new jobs and other economic opportunities. But Phil Murphy has also been clear that this is, in his words, a social justice issue, which parallels a little bit what his opponent was talking about in decriminalizing, in that the effects of criminalized marijuana in New Jersey have a disproportionate impact on the African American community, and thereby legalizing it is something of a win-win in the sense that you have the tax revenues for the state, the ability for that tax revenue to allow for freed up funds from local law enforcement not to be prosecuting small possession and things of the like, and also freeing up some social justice issues which are borne out by the statistics on how individuals are treated as a result of those small possessions.
So Jess, let's turn to you. Only 8 other states have legalized recreational use, and the states surrounding New Jersey have authorized medical use only. How do you think these states will be affected by legal recreation marijuana in New Jersey?
Well, certainly with Pennsylvania still yet to roll out the program, you may see many Pennsylvanians who are currently suffering from the conditions that will be covered in Pennsylvania turning to New Jersey for treatment. Once Pennsylvania has up and running the dispensaries and processors, you might find that the people who hold those licenses find that their licenses are worth less simply because the people have to jump through the hoops and the requirements in order to get covered under Pennsylvania's regimen. Same thing with New York. New York patients who also have to get qualified with their doctors and have a very strict type of disease or chronic illness for which to qualify for medical marijuana may also again turn to New Jersey in terms of getting faster treatment. Then again, those people will be crossing state lines, which obviously is not legal since it's still illegal federally, but if you look in terms of people going to New Jersey or other states for alcohol, you don't know what the enforcement is going to look like, and that may not be a deterrent.
I'll just add to that I think that of the neighboring states in the Northeast, that Pennsylvania is going to be the potentially hardest hit in the southeastern portion of the state because, as Jessica was mentioning, Pennsylvania is still getting off the ground in terms of putting the program together. We're only halfway through our licensing process, and it's very restrictive, so that if you are looking at economic opportunities in the southeastern portion of the state, and all you need to do is to go across the bridge either as a business owner or as a consumer to gain flexibility in purchasing for ailments or for recreational use and other forms that are not going to be available in Pennsylvania, all of a sudden that border bleed is going to be much more likely to occur and potentially cause folks to be diverting what are very significant investments in millions of dollars over into New Jersey instead of potentially Pennsylvania in the next round.
Now, you both mentioned Pennsylvania. So in Pennsylvania specifically, the medical marijuana industry is in its early stages, as you mentioned. We've seen a lot of concern over how licenses were awarded, and some applicants were seeking legal action, challenging denials. Do you think that will change when New Jersey passes a new marijuana law?
Well, for the businesses that have decided to challenge the denial of their application, depending on where they are in that denial process, when New Jersey approves recreational marijuana use, they may find it a cheaper and more simple alternative to open a business in New Jersey. Of course, that depends on the ultimate legislation that gets approved. But if it's going to take less time and less capital to get established in New Jersey, plus they have the benefit of being able to offer more products, they might find that that's the better business opportunity.
I do think that will, as I said, depend in part on where they are located within the state. The greatest impact will be on those businesses that are looking to either be growers or dispensers in the southeastern portion, but less likely in terms of the western part of the state, because if you're in Pittsburgh or the West, you're butting up against states like Ohio that Ohio itself is just now rolling out its own medical process. So you're going to have a distinction between where in the state you are and what that impact will be.
Well, this is really interesting. Alva and Jess, thanks for joining me. For our listeners, be sure to keep an eye on the Insight Center at pepperlaw.com, where we'll post new podcasts and articles on this topic once New Jersey moves forward with its plans. Thank you.